time to investigate this cattle trough here. I found a few of these up and over the hills. Now bovine has been drinking from it. It's not going to be clean, but I can filter it and boil it up. BCB 25, I've had to put on defence pack there. It's just got camera gear in. Usually that wouldn't be there. The tent right at the bottom there. Had to cross countless electric fences. I've just left the pack there for about 10 minutes while I walked on, just to see if there was a better footprint to put this tent down for the night, and there was. It just flattened out just enough, otherwise we'd have been up against more of the same. And this is that little clearing. Now something has had a good scratch around here and flattened it out for me. There's a lot of culling going on at the moment, so we might even wake to the sound of gunshot in the morning. The tent is in here. That is it. I would rather carry water like this in an LRRP. My survival bivvy, which I'm using as a footprint, because I'm on my own, I have to have something of colour. Otherwise I would never get detected here if I fall into difficulty. The Mora is on the bottom here. Cook set, ablutions set, with sundries, illumination. That side, internal, is just a sleeping bag and an air pad. I'm going to have to get this shelter up. Right, if I put my footprint down like this, it allows me to run my fingers only over the area where I'm going to be sleeping. Got myself a UCO. That's going to help a lot with the condensation, because there will be a lot of condensation. This is just one of the elements I have for illumination, and this is rechargeable. I lost my original little drinks cup that I use, had to go out and get this Contigo, got that half price, look out for them. All the rations I need, plus the drinks, the water, my hat, pillow, entire cook set, ablutions, sundries, the expedition mat and tent. Okay, I'm going to put the tent up. I'm going to put the foot end into the wind as much as I can. This is the only flat bit of ground I've got, remember, so I'm limited. I'm not going to rush putting this up. I've got a couple of hours of daylight left yet. The ground is harder than I thought. I'm going to need something to knock these tent stakes in with. So let's see my erection. It's more like a bivvy tent. I can sit up in it, but you've always got to ask yourself when you're buying a tent what your requirements really are. How much of your day really consists of sitting up? For me, it's not a lot. I've pitched into the wind as much as I could, but I have bought the extra pegs and they are all pegged out. It does seem to condensate purely because it is only single skin. It's a nice stealthy colour, this. I'm not blown away by this, by the way, this tent, you know. I don't think it's the best by any means. The 720 grams is what I liked, and the fact it goes up on the trekking pole. Just going to pop that in there. The vestibule's pretty small, but is handy for my water and my cook kit. So I've got my Norwegian ECW on. You're not going to be able to get these in the surplus shops. I don't know until when or if ever. Norwegian extreme cold weather. And it's all I have. I'm trying it as an experiment over bringing an extra jumper, an extra fleece, that kind of clothing that will add pack weight. Because this is a super light system, it's a super light system without compromise. Fill it up full of air, and I've just grasped the top like a piping bag, and in all the demonstrations they roll down the air like this until the air is in, and then you unroll it. God, that is time consuming. It should only take about 5 full inflations now. Okay, that's done. Flip this over. Dig out the actual... Oh, I've got to get a hat on. Freezing. Yep, it is pretty cold. Another lightweight thing, I didn't even know I'd put this in, is my silk nightie. It's not a silk nightie, it's a sleeping bag liner silk. I got the brew set out, and when I did the dehydrated meal episode, people were wondering what it'd be like if I did the cold soak for longer. I only gave it 20 minutes last time and it hadn't had time to soak properly. So I bought an extra breakfast of the dehydrated meal, and I'm going to just cover the contents with cold water, and I'm going to leave it all night, and then I'll see tomorrow morning if it's softened up completely, because some of the bits hadn't softened up last time. This lightweight kit is so lightweight I didn't even bring a bag of Haribos. When I close up this outer vestibule, obviously the rescue orange will totally disappear. I'm just making myself some level ground. I don't need to go and find level ground. No, that's not level yet. Level. A flask of coffee. So going full power with your stove goes through more fuel. But I just want it to burn efficiently. I'm going to empty the contents of this all-day breakfast that I've dehydrated. I'm going to put the contents into this, which is watertight. It's better than a Ziploc bag. Also silver lined as well. See how my coffee's getting on. Bubbling away quite nice. The wind's getting up. It'll be a good test of this silly little tent. I wished I'd got the Vango. It would have doubled the weight though. Whether I'll keep this tent or not remains to be seen. I have sealed it all It cost me 13 quid just to waterproof it. See how much water this takes. I have all kinds of sterilisation. I have the Army Rations Oasis tabs. 1 for clean water, 2 if you're going to get it from a dubious source. Now these are baby sterilising tablets. Now just quarter of 1 tablet will sterilise this 2-quart bottle here. Squish this up, see what that's like in the morning. So I'm gonna pour myself that nice hot brew. UCO's on. This will help with the condensation. Thing is, I only have half a candle left, which is about 4.5 hours. I've got my coat over my legs as well. Yeah, I'm glad it's not winter. I'll tell you why in a minute. Well, I didn't get much sleep. The inflatable has sprung a leak. About 3 times I've pumped this up last night. Now once it was full of air, it was fine, but mine is thermally insulated from the colder ground, and it let enough air out that I was touching the ground and getting cold. Now because I'm squashing all the insulation when I'm lying on it, there's no need for a back piece for this. That's boiled. That was quick. Let me just turn this off a minute. There's no need for a back piece to a sleeping bag. A lot of people are turning to quilts over sleeping bags, both in the hammock and on the ground, and I can see why. So I can save even more weight, and believe me, my top quilt is far superior to this expensive sleeping bag here. It is good enough down to whatever temperature it is now. I believe it's 11 degrees. Last night got down to, I think, 9 at its coldest, but then the temperature came back up to 11 again in the middle of the night. So I think I've been quite lucky. I'm glad this didn't deflate and it was winter. That would have been game over. Just got this from the Army ration pack. Hot chocolate, orange flavour hot chocolate. Try this. I think I'd have been a lot more comfortable in my top quilt than the sleeping bag. Because I fidget too much, you see. And what that means is, if I've been lying on my back and I turn to my side, where I've been lying has been compressed. If I use top quilt, no matter how much I turn, I'm not actually lying on the sleeping bag or quilt itself. Let's put my coat on. Oh, it's better. So I did say I was going to use my coat in conjunction with the sleeping system. With down, it didn't work. I tried it inside the sleeping bag, draping my coat over. Never wear it, you'll just sweat. Yeah, so I just draped it over my sleeping bag and it worked and then stopped. Oh, that is magic. Orange chocolate, orange flavoured chocolate. I was going to bring out my foldable mat. It's long, it takes up a lot of volume, a lot of real estate of the pack. But I've got no issues with it deflating, and I just don't know how low a temperature I can take that on its own. That's why I was so surprised with goose down insulation. I was feeling cold spots, and that's because it was deflating. A standalone unit that is reliant on air inflation for the ground pad. Not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. I'm just glad it wasn't winter. I'd have been in trouble. Big trouble. I'm going to have to air my sleeping bag here. The outer shell is damp. I was going to bring a bivvy bag. A very light pocket weight bivvy bag for this. I think that wouldn't have worked. It's just not breathable enough. The condensation issue wasn't bad because it hasn't rained, and if we look up above here, I have got some canopy here, you see, so I knew I'd have some extra rain protection. This is no-seam mesh all here, and the same on the back here where the head is. All this is, it's all dry, it's warm to the touch. Move to this fabric here, it is cold to the touch, but at least dry, at least dry. The way to stay warm in a down sleeping bag, mine's just hanging up on a tree, is actually to get in it with nothing on. I did start off with my t-shirt and I thought it's a bit chilly, and that's just when it started raining. So I took this Airtex t-shirt off, totally just took it off, got into the sleeping bag, and my body heat warms the sleeping bag. Far more beneficial not having any clothes, which means I can travel with less clothing, making it even lighter for the pack. I'm not bringing additional t-shirts, jumpers, fleece wear, sleepwear that I may have to in a synthetic. And people will often put in the comments, well, I don't do this, that and the other, and I'm warm. And I'm thinking, yeah, but we all haven't got the same body metabolism. My metabolism is very different to anybody else's. There is no comparison. So when a cold sleeper tells you that something's warm, that would be the advice I'd go for. As where a lot of people on YouTube will tell you their kit is warm and they stayed warm all night, so forth. You're not actually knowing their body metabolism. The more I took off, the warmer I was in. The moment of truth is the breakfast. It's had, let's see, at least 10 hours of cold pre-soak. Oil in the bag breakfast now. This is 100% of my waste, including the candle wax that I cleaned from my UCO candle and all the debris and everything. So that is going back in my pack. That is the amount of waste I have produced in 14 hours. There's a bit of dirt to clean up in here. And I swept out a lot of feathers. That must have been coming from the sleeping bag. Might have a flask of coffee to take away with me. I'm mostly packed for the push-off. I've only got the tent to come down. So that is what I've been doing while I've been waiting for this. So this is the cold pre-soak. Oh, it's just about edible. No, I definitely prefer pouring boiling water over it. A bottle of sauce Tabasco. Damn, it needs something. It's not brilliant. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just a few drops. So here's where I'm up to. I'm still in two minds about dehydrated. Dehydrated food on the trail is a great idea, providing you're not carrying the water with you, as I am. There's nothing in the way of weight saving there if I'm bringing water in with me. Could have got it from that cow trough down there, but I didn't. I'm going to swap the actual down sleeping bag for down top quilts, just because I'm not compressing the loft. I'm lying directly on the air pad, and no matter how I twist, it stays on me. And I have two versions of top quilts. I have my summer and my winter, and I think the summer one is something like 600 grams and about 980 or something for the top quilt winter, and I can even combine the two together. The tent is alright for summer, and I'm talking heat wave summer, not sort of hat and coat weather. I'm not keen on this breakfast. Now, I got up 4 times to refill the air in that ground inflatable, because when it was full, and I pumped it up really firm, yeah, that would have been really comfortable. Now, my little folding mat, which has a silver reflector on one side, bloody flies being attacked, might have got me through some of the summer months. The tent, I wished I'd have got a double skin tent. I usually am quite impressed with the Van Gogh tents, really, for a similar price as this single skin DD. So I could take this from 700 grams of tent here up to about almost 2 kilos. So now my lightweight pack isn't so light, but it's drier and warmer. So it's up to you whether you're putting the consideration on your base weight, or, as I'm doing, a comfortable base weight. So I had a base weight of 5.8 kilos with a tent, and 4.1 kilos with a summer hammock setup. Now I'm quite happy with that as a starting point. I could leave it there. I'm gonna sneeze, hang on. Wow. Oh, not hay fever again. Starting. Oh, what an age to be getting that. I've never had it all my life and now I have. Yeah, so as a base weight, I'm starting off very low. And now I can decide for myself whether I want to put in another kilo of tent. I found more loose stitching on the inside. Oh, Tabasco hot. Now I had a DD travel hammock years and years and years ago and it was adequate enough. So I thought, I've had DD before, I'll buy the DD bivvy tent or tarp tent they're calling it. It's really a bivvy tent. And the quality from what I am used to with DD is far inferior from how it was 5 years ago. Something for the ladies. God, now I'm tired. Okay, I've learned a lot. I really have. Oh. Yeah, nothing like a morning coffee. The single skin tent, or the Wendy house as I call it, yeah, it is lightweight. And I can seal myself in. It's comfortable enough. It's comfortable enough. I personally am just so used over the years of having twin-walled tents. I'm going to stick with that. Now, BCB, I've made a 35 litre upgrade to this 25 litre BCB, and it's in MTP. It is 910 grams. This is 780, and that will afford me a little more space for a change of clothes if I'm out for, say, 2 days. I wouldn't ever usually have cotton pants like this, not to carry in my pack. I've worn these, I've walked in them, there's no way cotton would come into my pack. So, back to base. Repair, sell and exchange. And the next ground camp will be very different again. It was a lovely walk yesterday, but I've had to come an extra 2.5 miles just to find this little bit of flat ground. Now look around you, guys and girls. That's Wales. Wales is always uphill, and just to have one little bit of flat ground like this was a bit of luck. A hammock kit with me I could have pitched up 2.5 miles ago. I have all these trees here, not short of trees in Wales, so the option to do both ground and hammock is good enough for me. And I'm not sure whether I prefer a bivvy or a bivvy tent. I'm going to have a think about it. So I'm going to wrap it up here, and I'm going to have a very slow, leisurely walk back. And if it was any warmer, I would do it naked. Right then, that's me done. And until next time, I'll see you out there. I'll see you next time. Happy trails.